everyone, welcome back to my channel where I share practical manifesting tips and help you actually apply the knowledge to your life and live it to the fullest. Today I want to talk about how to deal with your current reality when you're manifesting. Now, as you guys know, I am all about making things applicable for you because for years and years of reading Neville Goddard, of reading A Course in Miracles, of all of these things, that was the missing link for me. I needed to be able to apply. So back to the topic of how to ignore current reality. As manifestors, at one point in our journey, we've been told to ignore 3D or ignore the current reality. Some teachers would say that, it's because our current reality is just a result of our past thoughts, or that our outside world is just a reflection, a mirror. Now, these are helpful and reassuring to hear when you're in the moment, when you are probably resisting, when you feel hopeless, feel powerless. But at one point, there comes a time when you're just faced with the situation that's in front of you, the life that's around you, and all of a sudden, this advice just does not quite hit the spot anymore because, how do I ignore something that's just all around me? And for some people, me included, there comes a time when you try to ignore, and then you end up just being so afraid of living life, and it's not a good feeling. And I also want to tell you that that is not the purpose of manifesting at all. It is not supposed to make you want to avoid living life. It's meant to help you live life to the fullest. So apparently there's more to this ignoring current reality thing. I want to start with the idea that current reality is your past thoughts. Personally, I would not put it that way. Now, let me explain. We all know that circumstances are meaningless. So when you understand that, you know that your 3D, your current reality, is dead in a way that is meaningless. It does not have the power to create for you. It does not hold the power to decide for you what is to come next. Now, your current reality is not really in the past. Because on its own, it's really just a set of circumstances, like a set of props. The way we experience reality depends entirely on our perspectives. So, your current reality in that way is not in the past. Your current reality is your current perspective. The way you experience this neutral set of props/circumstances tells you who you are being at the moment. So, current reality is not really dead because it's in the past or in the future. It's always in the now. But reality is a mirror, not in the way that you think, in a way that it points out to you who you are being at the moment. Now, allow me to demonstrate this with one of my personal examples. Back when I was working on my relationship, because, that's what a lot of us are here for relationships, for love, for specific people, and I get it. I will save you guys the whole story because it's a very long one. We've known each other for years. But just know that when I was working on this manifestation, the situation was what a lot of people would say hopeless. There was an ocean between us. We were not talking. We had some really, really bad fights. We both told each other that we never want to hear from the other person again. You name it. It was very, very, very bad. I was also severely depressed in my life. Back then, I was also reading and I was taught by people that I had to ignore 3D or ignore my current reality and quote unquote just persist. And like a lot of you, I decided that I needed a routine and that I needed to work on my beliefs and that I needed to do this and that. So things would change and I would no longer need to ignore anything. And then I could finally live my life. Now, there came a point when I could no longer ignore the life that was around me anymore. The other areas of my life were not going very well. And basically, at one point, I really just felt that I had to start living again. I had to. I had to do it out of necessity. So, bit by bit, I would start to just do what I could in my current reality, whether it has something to do with this specific person or this one relationship or not. I just needed to engage with my life again. Now, that doesn't mean that I gave up on it. I want you guys to know that I am one of those people who just has to get what she wants. When I want something, I want the thing. I do not want something better. I want the exact thing. So I did my best to feel it real. But what I noticed was that I was never able to truly feel the experience within myself. And that was bothering me. But at one point, I had this realization just in the middle of a workday. I think something had happened, or somebody had told me something that made me feel inadequate. And then all of a sudden, I realized that I had this story in my head going on where I think that I cannot be myself in a relationship or that I cannot be loved and accepted as I am because I don't have a cool enough job. And it did not stop there. I also noticed that that was not just about my career. It was about all these other areas of my life that I was neglecting because I was way too focused on this one person. I had a story in my head that my life needs to be a certain way and my career, my whatever it is, needs to be a certain way for me to be lovable. So that explained why no matter how I tried back then, I was not able to truly immerse myself in this feeling experience of being in this relationship. I was not allowing myself to go there because all these other conditions that I've put on it. Now, that one realization changed so many things for me. First, that was my signal to do two things. One, to detach my worth from all these circumstances. I am worthy just for existing. We all are, and I want all of you to really get this. You are worthy of everything that you want. You are worthy of your wildest dreams just for existing. You absolutely do not need to be a certain way in order to be worthy. You don't need to lose 5 pounds. You don't need to get lip fillers. You don't need to do anything in order to have what you want. Why? Let's go back to who we really are. We are the creator. We are God. We are love. We're consciousness, we're this all-inclusive universe. We already are everything. There is no condition for us to be able to have what we want. None whatsoever. So that was the first one. I needed to detach my worth and detach this manifestation from all these other areas of my life. The second one, I also took that as a signal that I needed to put more attention to these other areas of my life because apparently I was not feeling very good about it. I was not feeling good about my career. I was not feeling good about being depressed. I was not feeling good about just the lack of social life because I was depressed. All of these things, I took that as a signal that I needed to start living my life in all of these ways. So bit by bit, I did my best. Or I had good days and I had bad days. It's never a linear process, and I want you to know that. But what do you know? When I eventually heard from him after months, I saw the message come in on my phone when I was out drinking wine with my friends and just having a grand time. Now, you might be asking at this point, how did me living my life and embracing my then current reality led me to that point? Let me explain. For me, it did two things. One, it made me a more balanced person in relationships in the sense that I was no longer just obsessed with this relationship and making it my only focus in life. And I learned to be my own person within the relationship. And I cannot even begin to tell you how much that has positively impacted my relationship. Second of all, because of the fact that I worked on detaching my value from all these external things, I no longer feel that I need to accomplish a certain goal and this and that in order for me to receive the love that I want. I realized that I could be accepted just as I am, as a work in progress, because that's what my life will always be. I will always be a work in progress. The only difference was that I realized, or I learned, that I could be a work in progress and still be accepted and even be supported as I work on these other areas of my life. I could be supported by my partner as I work through things. And that's exactly how my relationship is right now. And I really, really want to tell you this to make you understand just how I couldn't have done it without embracing my reality. I wouldn't have become the person that I am in this relationship today without living my life, without living my current reality. I couldn't have done it by ignoring my current reality at all. At all. Now, what do I want you to understand from this experience? All of those steps that I took in my then current reality led me to becoming the version of myself who has what I want, who is in this relationship that I want today. I did not for a second ignore my current reality. In fact, I did the opposite. I leaned into it. I embraced it. I lived it to the fullest, to the best of my abilities. And I manifested what I wanted. I want you to understand, especially if you're someone who's trying to manifest a relationship, who is in a similar situation. I know a lot of you are. I want you to understand this, truly. Your current reality is where your manifestation is going to happen. Think about it for a second. When manifestations happen, it always happens in our current reality. I want you to trust your current reality. I want you to trust that your current reality is exactly what is leading you to your manifestation. I am telling you guys that I do not encourage you to quote unquote ignore current reality and that you want to pretend that it's not there, because you can't not possibly do that. Don't do it. Doing that will, for one, make you feel delusional and have doubts. And most importantly, it makes you just miss out on life. It keeps you waiting. It goes like this. It goes like, I will do the techniques, I will have the routine until the current reality or the 3D changes, and then I could finally live. That is not how it works, you guys. That is not how it works. So at the end, I would like to offer you a few affirmations that really helps me when I have a hard time ignoring current reality or dealing with current reality. I hope that you would find them helpful. And here we go. The first one. My current reality is exactly where it needs to be. The second one. My current reality could look like this, and I could still get what I want. My current reality is not in the way of me getting what I want. My current reality does not mean that I cannot get what I want. My current reality is leading me to everything that I want. I trust my current reality. And we are at the end of this video. I hope that you found it helpful. And I want all of you to know that this information took me literally months and years to figure out. And I am putting this information out there, so hopefully you will not have to. And if you've made it to the end, I think that you kind of like my content. So please consider liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.